Hi, welcome again to our regular series of educational videos. We are FocusPoint Technologies, and we provide privacy and security solutions to the Upper Midwest. My name is Kathy Waschenberger, and I'm the CIO of FocusPoint Technologies. My background and my passion is all around aspects of data privacy, data protection, cybersecurity, and overall information risk management. In many of our recent videos, we focused on educating you about a particular topic related to information security or data privacy. Today, I want to provide you more with an overview of our vetting process that we use when we're evaluating privacy and security solutions here at FocusPoint. During the next few minutes here, I'm going to cover some of the challenges that organizations face today when choosing the right solution to fit their needs. FocusPoint has a unique vetting process that surprisingly doesn't focus only on technology. Sure, we want to make sure that the product works. Technology doesn't necessarily seem to be the problem all the time. The problems usually lie in other areas such as stability of the vendor, proof that it actually works in a production environment. Can the actual vendor provide good support for you and your company? And finally, and most importantly, can it be successfully integrated into your company's established processes? FocusPoint is here to bring value back to the market as you determine how to mature your privacy and security program. Let's talk a little bit about how we do that. I intentionally left this picture blurry. Well, first, because most of us have seen something similar to outline all the various products that are out there. It's certainly on all the marketing slides. But more importantly, because that's what's really happening. Everything is becoming such a blur to the industry when you start talking about security products. There are thousands of products that are constantly adding to their list of capabilities around privacy and security. They all solve your privacy and security problems, of course, in more ways than one. It's a never-ending challenge to determine which product works in your environment, which ones best solve your business problems. And yes, I actually said business problems because security should be solving your business problems. As I sit with vendors and review their products and solutions, I'm mostly confident that their technology is actually going to work. A lot of the vendors will be very upfront with what their products will and won't do technically. You might need to question their pricing models, but we'll cover that a little bit later. But the product usually isn't the problem. It's really everything else that's listed here. This is the entire process that we use at FocusPoint. Our goal is to right fit the solution with your business. Yes, I said business again. Tools are more about the business investment, the process integration, organizational impact, and overall time to value. So let's cover each section briefly. Looking at the product and solution itself, we evaluate that based on your needs. So what do you and your organization really need, and how does the solution actually match up to meet your goals? Industry matches are also important. If you're a large financial institution, it's good to know what other large financial institutions are doing in this space. Will the product cross industry verticals, or is it really meant to cater to one more than the other? And my favorite on this slide is understanding if the product will truly solve your compliance needs or simply help offset them, and being realistic about it. And how many times have we recently seen promises that a particular solution is going to do something like solve GDPR? If you're new to that topic, I have a whole video on that, but those of us who are experienced in it know that there is not a solution that is going to solve that entire regulation. This is an area that's really becoming more and more important as large vendors are looking to expand their functionality. They're purchasing additional components to make their products more appealing. But can they and will they truly provide it long-term? These areas must be reviewed, and who better to do it than someone who deals with these vendors on a regular basis? Here's one of the most important factors. Does it actually work in a complex production environment? You know what? I want references. Local references are preferred. The Midwest up here is a pretty tight marketplace. So if you don't have local references, at least give me a reference that's comparable to the company that is reviewing the solution. How many times have you heard, oh yeah, we'll have it up and running in 2 weeks? Well, great. When will we actually see those results? That's a whole different time frame depending on the functionality. Finally, support is a big deal. Even if you have a whole team of people to support that tool, what happens when the tool breaks? Is the vendor support local? Will it take weeks to get someone engaged? Will they be skilled? These are all issues I've recently seen. I touched on the vendor support structure in the last slide, but this deals more with the details that companies need to address. For instance, maintenance agreements. You need to understand the specifics around that because when something does go wrong, and it will, and if it impacts your production environment, you want to make sure that your maintenance agreement is in place and it's not just considered as part of that overall percentage of cost for your product. We talked a little bit about if something happened in your production environment, what's the SLA for them to actually respond? Also very important. And finally, can a company contract to have that product managed for them? So whether you need staff that's focused on other more important things in your organization, perhaps you don't have the staff or skill set, it's always good to have another option to understand if there's a managed service offering available for the product or service that you're looking at. This usually isn't a topic that a vendor will want to work with you on. Their goal is to sell you the product or the service, and it's really not always, I say not always because some actually do this quite well, but not always to ensure that it's the right fit for your company. So first and foremost, how does this fit with your current architecture? Do you already have something that's in place or something where another module can simply be added? So for instance, with the Microsoft implementation, there's quite a bit of overlap there in their product set. Knowing that ahead of time can really help, at least in your evaluation. If you're looking to purchase a new product, will you have other products that can be replaced? How can your company best utilize that existing investment? We've also talked about implementation, but really is it as easy as the vendor actually says? What about user adoption? What type of training is needed? What type of communication is required to ensure that smooth implementation across your organization? What type of data is truly needed to help implement as smoothly as possible? What about customization? That's another one. Some products are really built on customization. Others are very agile in the way that they're structured. A lot of times you might be looking at development efforts, whether that is to do the initial install, to add additional functionality, even thinking about future updates or upgrades. Do you need to get that developer involved or not? Those are all things to definitely consider. And then certainly from a staffing perspective, do you need an entire team, for instance, or just part of a person's time to manage that product long term? So really every company is going to be different. Every architecture is going to have its own challenges to overcome, whether we're talking about legacy systems, risks that have already been accepted, compliance challenges, the list goes on. Having been in the shoes of someone having to choose between products or solutions is never an easy thing to do. There are plenty of things that you need to be considering as you're looking at these things. One of the things that FocusPoint can do to help is really stay current in the marketplace. And that's one of the biggest benefits that we bring back to you. It's really our commitment to you. So if this vetting process sounds interesting to you, it's important to get us invited early to the conversation because we really want to help you sift through that noise in the industry today. We have experience with many, many procurement processes, and there's really a whole side of the sales process that we also understand. We can really help decipher the vendor goals to ensure that it's a win-win for both of you. Overall, I want to thank you for your time today. Certainly feel free to contact me directly with any questions you have about this presentation, our vetting process, or any other privacy or security issue you may be facing. This is my passion. I'm happy to discuss. I hope to talk with you soon and have a great day.